What if I told you that, like, nearly a third of adults are routinely missing out on something totally fundamental, and it's quietly sabotaging their physical health, their mental sharpness, their emotional well-being? We're not talking about some, niche diet or a new exercise fad.
Right.
We're talking about your most essential daily reset, sleep.
Sleep, yeah.
So today we're doing a deep dive into the profound world of sleep, not just how much you get, but how well you truly rest and why it's really the bedrock of everything.
That's exactly right. Think of sleep as like your body's nightly software update. It's this critical process ensuring everything runs smoothly the next day.
A software update, I like that.
Yeah, and our mission today is really to pull back the curtain on the science behind it, give you practical, actionable strategies you can, literally use tonight.
Okay.
And also cut through some of the common myths. All of this so you can build a stronger, more resilient foundation for your life.
Right. So let's unpack this core idea straight away. Sleep isn't, optional. It's a biological necessity, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So what's the widely accepted baseline we should all be aiming for?
Well, the science is, remarkably clear on this. For healthy adults, say between 18 and 60, the American Academy of Sleep Medicine and the Sleep Research Society, they're unanimous.
Okay.
You need 7 or more hours of sleep every single night, regularly, for optimal health.
7 hours minimum, not just a suggestion, then.
No, it's really the minimum for your body and mind to function at their best.
And this is where it gets kind of serious, right?
Yeah.
What happens if we consistently fall short of that 7-hour mark? Because the consequences, they seem to touch every single part of our lives.
They absolutely do. Physically, we're talking about significantly increased risks. Things like weight gain and obesity, diabetes, hypertension, heart disease, even stroke.
Wow.
It's a fundamental stressor on your whole system. Your immune function also takes a hit, so you're more vulnerable to getting sick.
Right. More colds, more flu.
Exactly. And that nagging ache or just feeling generally run down, not getting enough sleep can actually heighten your pain sensitivity.
Huh. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, it's your body basically sending out a clear signal. It needs rest.
And it's not just the physical side. I mean, I know from experience when my sleep is off, my whole mental landscape just feels different. What does poor sleep do to our thinking and our emotions?
Yeah, that's a huge part of it. What's fascinating, or maybe worrying, is how it erodes your resilience.
Resilience. How so?
Well, poor sleep doesn't just make you tired. It actually amplifies negative emotional responses to stress.
Oh, okay.
And it diminishes your capacity for positive emotions. So that minor annoyance you'd normally brush off suddenly feels like a huge deal.
Yeah, I can see that. Makes sense.
And crucially, it impairs core cognitive skills, things like your attention span, learning new things, memory consolidation.
So concentration goes down, harder to remember stuff.
Exactly. Your ability to think clearly, retain information, even just perceive the world accurately, it all gets compromised.
And beyond just us as individuals, there are wider impacts too, right? Like more errors, maybe more accidents.
Definitely. But there's an even deeper and frankly quite unsettling connection when we talk about chronic sleep problems.
Okay, what's that?
Well, the link between sleep and serious mental health issues, chronic sleep problems don't just make existing conditions worse. They can actually contribute to the onset of things like depression, anxiety.
Really? The onset?
Yes, and in severe cases, even suicidal ideation. We saw a really stark, real-world example of this during the pandemic. Some people called it coronasomnia.
Coronasomnia, wow.
Yeah, one study found that during that time, 1 in 3 people had clinical insomnia symptoms. Nearly 20% actually met the criteria for insomnia disorder.
That's huge.
It is. And these rates were more than double pre-pandemic levels. Plus, they were directly linked to higher levels of psychological distress. It just shows how vulnerable our sleep can be when we're under intense pressure.
That's a powerful example. Now, we focus so much on getting too little sleep, but what about the other side? Is there such a thing as too much sleep? Does that carry risks?
That's a great question. While the sweet spot for most adults is that 7 to 9 hours.
Right.
Sleeping more than 9 hours can be perfectly fine for certain groups, young adults, for instance. Or if you're recovering from a significant sleep debt, like pulling an all-nighter.
Or being sick, maybe.
Or being sick, exactly. Your body needs more rest then. For others, though, the health risk of routinely oversleeping is Well, it's less clear.
Well, it's not necessarily bad.
Not necessarily, but if you find yourself consistently needing, say, 10, 11 hours and you're not in one of those categories, it's probably wise to chat with a healthcare provider just to rule out any underlying issues.
Okay, good advice. So we've firmly established why sleep is so critical, non-negotiable even.
Absolutely.
But knowing that is one thing. How do we actually start getting better sleep consistently? Where should you begin?
For a lot of people, the most immediate and often most impactful place to start is your bedroom, your sleep environment.
Right, the sleep sanctuary idea.
Exactly. Instinctively, a comfortable, relaxing room helps, but it's more than just general comfort. Studies actually show people sleep objectively better when their room is optimized.
Optimized? How? Does it need to be fancy? Expensive?
Not at all. That's the good news. You don't need a massive budget to create your own sleep sanctuary. It's about controlling a few key elements.
Okay, let's break those down. What's the first thing we should look at?
Temperature. This one often surprises people. The ideal bedroom temperature is typically around 65 degrees Fahrenheit. That's about 18 Celsius.
65? That sounds pretty cool.
It is cool, but it's not just about comfort. Your body actually needs to drop its core temperature by a couple of degrees to initiate sleep and then maintain that deep sleep.
Ah, okay.
And keeping the room around that 65-degree mark helps facilitate that crucial temperature drop.
But what if that feels too cold?
Then just adjust your bedding. Add layers. Use a warmer duvet. The key is the cool air temperature helping your body cool down while you stay comfortable under the covers.
Got it. Okay, temperature dialed in. What's the next sense we need to manage?
Sound. Noise. It seems obvious, right? Keep it quiet.
Yeah.
But it's not just about avoiding loud bangs that jolt you awake. Even subtle, lower-level noises that don't fully wake you can severely fragment your sleep.
Fragment. What does that mean?
It means it disrupts the natural progression through sleep stages.
Right.
It prevents your brain from getting enough of that truly deep, restorative, slow-wave sleep, even if you don't consciously remember waking up.
Ah, okay. So even if I don't think the traffic noise woke me, it might still be messing things up.
Precisely. So creating a quiet haven is really important.
What are the best ways to do that, especially if you live somewhere noisy?
Well, white noise machines can be incredibly effective. They mask other sounds by creating a consistent, sort of soothing auditory blanket. Gentle instrumental music can also work for some people, particularly if it helps ease anxiety or distract from pain. And don't underestimate simple things like noise-blocking curtains. They can make a real difference.
Right. Block sound and light. Which brings us to the next big one. Light. This seems like the arch enemy of modern sleep. We hear about blue light constantly.
It really is a major factor. Light is the primary controller of your body's natural clock, your circadian rhythm.
Circadian rhythm, right? The 24-hour cycle.
Exactly. It dictates when you feel awake and when you feel sleepy. It's largely controlled by light exposure. You get morning light, cortisol levels rise, making you alert.
Cortisol, the stress hormone.
Well, yes, but it's also the alertness hormone in the morning. Then, as darkness falls, melatonin production ramps up, signaling sleep time.
Makes sense. So where does artificial light mess this up?
The problem is artificial light, especially in the evening, even dim ambient light, like from a lamp or street lights outside, can delay your circadian rhythm.
Delay it. So it pushes back your natural sleep time.
Yes. It makes it harder to fall asleep, and it reduces the amount of that crucial slow-wave deep sleep you get.
And blue light from screens is the worst offender. Phones, TVs.
It's particularly disruptive, yes. Its wavelength basically screams daytime to your brain. Even those nighttime settings on devices, while they might reduce the blue light a bit, they often don't eliminate the problem.
Ugh. So the rule really should be...
The golden rule is simple, but powerful. Avoid screens in the bedroom entirely. Especially in the hour or two before you intend to sleep, make the bedroom a screen-free zone.
Easier said than done sometimes, but clearly vital. Okay, beyond light and sound, what about the actual bed? The mattress, the bedding?
Absolutely crucial for personal comfort, and covered directly impacts how quickly you settle down and how undisturbed you remain throughout the night.
So it's very personal, right? Memory foam versus coils, firm versus soft.
Totally personal preference. Memory foam, latex, coils, firmness, the loft of your pillow, it's all about what feels right for you and supports your body properly.
Does a newer mattress actually help?
It often can, yeah. A newer mattress might provide better support, reduce pressure points that cause tossing and turning, and studies have shown it can improve sleep quality and even alleviate chronic back pain for some people.
Interesting. And let's not forget something basic. Cleanliness. Does a clean room and fresh sheets really impact sleep that much?
It does, beyond just feeling nice. A clean bedroom, and especially clean sheets, prevents the buildup of things like dust mites and body oils.
Dust mites.
Yeah, they're common allergens. Even if you don't think you have allergies, they can cause low-level nasal congestion or respiratory irritation that can definitely disrupt your sleep without you even realizing it's the cause.
So how often should we wash sheets?
General recommendation is at least once every 2 weeks, maybe even weekly if you tend to sweat a lot or if you share your bed with pets. It just creates a much healthier sleep environment.
Okay, weekly sheets it is. And finally, a more subtle one. Scent. I've heard some interesting things about aromatherapy for sleep.
Scent is incredibly powerful, often bypassing our conscious thought and tapping directly into relaxation responses.
Like lavender.
Lavender is the classic example, yes. Studies have shown lavender essential oil can significantly improve sleep quality and help people wake up feeling more refreshed.
Any others?
Yeah. Other fragrances like peppermint or heliotropin have also shown promise. And here's a fun, maybe surprising fact.
Go on.
Some research suggests that a partner's unique scent, just their natural smell, can actually help you sleep better.
Really? Why?
It seems to promote feelings of safety, security, and comfort on a subconscious level. So maybe don't make them shower right before bed.
Uh-huh. Okay, noted. Now, a perfect sleep sanctuary is great, but it's just one piece, right? What we do during the day must impact our sleep at night.
Absolutely. How you move, what you eat, how you manage stress, it all feeds into your sleep quality.
Let's talk exercise first. It's often called a two-way street with sleep.
That's a perfect description. Regular, moderate to vigorous exercise generally enhances sleep quality quite significantly. It helps you fall asleep faster, reducing sleep onset latency, as it's called. And it reduces the amount of time you spend awake in bed during the night.
So less tossing and turning.
Exactly. It can also help alleviate daytime sleepiness and, for some people, even reduce their reliance on sleep medications.
And there's a connection to weight and sleep apnea too, right?
A big one. Exercise helps manage weight, which is vital because something like 60% of moderate to severe obstructive sleep apnea cases are linked directly to obesity. So exercise helps sleep indirectly there too.
Yeah, the timing of exercise, that's always debated. Is working out late bad for sleep?
It's nuanced. The traditional advice was always don't exercise within 3 hours of bed because it raises heart rate, body temperature, adrenaline.
That seems logical.
But interestingly, some newer research challenges that a bit. Some studies show that exercising moderately, even at 8 p.m. or later, or maybe in that 4 to 8 p.m. window, can actually lead to quicker sleep onset and good deep sleep.
So it's not a hard and fast rule.
It seems the key distinction might be vigorous, intense workouts right before bed, like in the hour leading up to sleep. That might still interfere. But moderate exercise earlier in the evening seems okay for many. It's about finding what works for your body.
Good to know. And what about the other direction? How does a bad night's sleep affect our desire to exercise the next day?
The vicious cycle. Poor sleep almost inevitably leads to lower physical activity levels. Your motivation just tanks.
Yeah, you just want to conserve energy.
Exactly. One study found that just a 30-minute increase in the time it took to fall asleep was linked to a 1-minute decrease in exercise duration the next day. Doesn't sound like much, but it adds up. Your body's trying to compensate for the lack of rest.
So practically speaking, what kind of exercise is best for promoting good sleep?
Rhythmic activities tend to be great stress relievers. Think walking, running, swimming, dancing, even Tai Chi or aerobics.
Things that get you into a flow.
Precisely. And here's a tip. Try adding mindfulness to your workout. Really focus on your breath, the feeling of your feet hitting the ground, the rhythm. It turns exercise into a moving meditation.
I like that. Okay, let's shift gears to nutrition. Fueling your rest. This is another two-way street, isn't it? What you eat affects sleep, and sleep affects what you eat.
Absolutely. It's a very strong bidirectional link. Certain foods can definitely be your sleep allies.
Like what? What should we be eating?
Foods containing components like tryptophan, certain vitamins, melatonin, or serotonin precursors. Think tart cherry juice, that's a popular one. Kiwi fruit, too.
Really?
Yep. Also, oily fish like salmon or tuna, poultry, dairy like milk and cheese, eggs, beans, pumpkin seeds. And generally, a diet high in vegetables and whole grains is consistently linked to better sleep.
What about carbs before bed? I've heard that helps.
Simple carbohydrates, maybe about 4 hours before sleep, might help some people fall asleep faster temporarily, but it's generally not seen as a sustainable, long-term strategy for good sleep quality.
Okay, so what are the big sleep disruptors? What foods and drinks should we avoid, especially in the evening?
Caffeine is the obvious one. Even having it 6 hours before bed can significantly interfere with your sleep architecture.
6 hours? Wow, it's earlier than I thought.
Yeah, it has a long half-life for many people.
Yeah.
Alcohol is another tricky one. It might make you feel drowsy initially.
Right, the nightcap effect.
Exactly. But it ultimately fragments your sleep later in the night, especially reducing REM sleep, so the quality suffers.
Okay, no booze right before bed. What else?
High-fat and high-sugar foods are generally linked to poorer sleep. Low-fiber diets, too. And eating a large meal too close to bedtime, say within 2 hours, forces your digestive system to work hard when it should be resting.
That makes sense.
Even things like skipping meals or constantly snacking, especially after dinner, can disrupt your body's natural rhythms and reduce sleep quality.
And what about nighttime acid reflux? That wakes a lot of people up.
Yeah, definitely. To avoid that, try to steer clear of spicy, fried, high-fat, or generally junk foods in the evening. And again, avoid eating anything substantial in the 2 hours before lying down.
This all ties back into weight management too, doesn't it?
It really does. Reduced sleep tends to increase appetite and cravings, often for less healthy foods. It leads to a higher risk of weight gain and obesity, and even impairs your body's ability to process sugar effectively.
But the good news is,
The flip side is powerful. Getting more quality sleep can actually help regulate appetite hormones, potentially leading to consuming fewer calories naturally, and it can significantly improve weight loss efforts if that's a goal.
okay, so environment, exercise, nutrition.
Yeah.
The last big piece seems to be stress and mental well-being.
Huge piece. It's almost a universal truth. Stress and anxiety are massive sleep blockers.
And the terrible irony is that trying too hard to fall asleep just makes the stress worse.
Exactly. That performance anxiety around sleep is incredibly common and counterproductive. It creates this frustrating loop.
So how do we break that cycle? What can we actually do about stress when it's keeping us awake?
This is where learning some solid stress management techniques becomes crucial. And there's a helpful framework called the 4 A's that you can apply directly to sleep-related stress.
Okay, the 4 A's. What's the first one?
First, avoid unnecessary stress. Learn the power of saying no. Limit time with people who consistently stress you out. Take control of your environment. Maybe turn off the news well before bed. Avoid hot-button topics late at night. And realistically, pare down your to-do list. What can you just let go of?
Right. Don't take on more than you need to. What
Right.
if you can't avoid the stressor?
Then the second A is alter the situation. Can you change it somehow? This might mean expressing your feelings openly instead of bottling them up. Being willing to compromise, being more assertive about your needs, finding a better balance between work and life. It's about actively trying to shape the circumstances.
Okay, avoid, alter. What if you can't change the situation either?
Then you adapt to the stressor. This is about changing your reaction. Can you reframe the problem? That awful traffic jam, maybe it's unexpected quiet time. To listen to something you enjoy. Look at the big picture. Will this stressor matter in a month, a year? Adjust your standards? Maybe let go of perfectionism.
That's a big one for many people.
Huge. And practice gratitude. Consciously focusing on what you do appreciate can really shift your perspective and minimize the perceived impact of stressors.
Avoid, alter, adapt. What's the 4th A?
Finally, accept. Accept the things you truly cannot change. You can't control the weather. You can't control other people's behavior most of the time. Don't fight reality. Look for the upside, even in challenges. Learn to forgive and share your feelings. Talking to trusted friends, family, or a therapist can be incredibly helpful in processing and accepting difficult situations.
That makes a lot of sense. It seems like mindfulness fits in here quite a bit, especially with adapting and accepting.
Absolutely. Mindfulness is an incredibly potent tool for sleep precisely because it helps quiet that busy, racing mind.
How does it work exactly? Is it like trying to empty your mind?
Not really about emptying, more about changing your relationship with your thoughts. It strengthens your mind muscle, helping you become aware of thoughts and anxieties without getting swept away by them. You learn to just notice them, acknowledge them, and let them float by without engaging.
Okay. Are there specific do's and don'ts for using mindfulness for sleep?
Yeah, a few key ones. D, try to meditate daily, build the skill. But, and this is important, don't meditate in bed to force sleep. If you're lying there and sleep isn't coming after maybe 20 minutes or so, the advice is actually to get out of bed.
Get out of bed. Really?
Yes, go somewhere else, do a quiet activity like reading or listening to calming music, or practice mindfulness there. You want to avoid associating your bed with frustration and wakefulness.
Okay. Break the association.
Exactly. Also, don't rely on sleep apps purely as sedatives. The goal isn't just to be knocked out by a voice, it's to cultivate your own ability to quiet your mind and allow sleep to come naturally.
Right. And what's the do?
Do try not to force sleep, except that you can't will yourself to sleep. Notice the worries. Maybe visualize them as clouds drifting by. This non-striving attitude, paradoxically, is often what allows sleep to finally arrive.
Okay, so for winding down in the evening, what are some simple mindfulness techniques we could try?
First, the obvious but crucial. Say goodnight to your devices well before bed. That blue light, the mental stimulation, just put them away.
Hard habit to break.
It is. Then maybe try a body scan meditation. Lie comfortably and just bring gentle awareness to different parts of your body, noticing sensations, warmth, coolness, tingling, pressure without judging them. Just notice. And notice your breath.
Okay, what about dealing with specific worries that pop up?
A technique from behavioral sleep expert Jared Minkle is to use positive distraction. Vividly visualize a peaceful scene like a beach. Engage all your senses. What do you see, hear, smell, feel?
So replace the worry with something pleasant.
Exactly. Or, if a worry insists, allow it, but then deliberately think beyond the stressful event itself. What happens after? What are the mundane, everyday tasks that follow? It can ground you and reduce the perceived catastrophe.
That's interesting, thinking about the boring stuff after the scary stuff.
Yeah. And practice nightly gratitude. Just before sleep, think of one thing you're looking forward to tomorrow, or someone you appreciate, or a kind act you witnessed. It shifts focus to the positive.
And can mindfulness help in the morning, too, to set up for better sleep that night?
Definitely. How you start your day sets the tone. Maybe curate your first sounds, use a gentle alarm instead of a jarring one. Hydrate with water before you reach for caffeine.
Good one.
And try to get some natural light exposure early on. Maybe step outside for a few minutes before even checking your phone. Just observe nature. It helps anchor your circadian rhythm and sets a calmer trajectory for the whole day.
Great tips. Okay, one last area. Sleep tracking devices.
Yeah.
Fitbits, Aura Rings, all that tech. They're everywhere now, promising insights. What do we actually need to know about them?
Right. These consumer sleep trackers are incredibly popular and getting more advanced. Lots of people use them daily. And they offer a convenient, relatively low-cost way to monitor your sleep patterns.
So what are they good at? Where do they actually excel?
Well, research shows that many commercial devices, like some Fitbit models, the Oura Ring, Withings devices, are actually pretty decent at detecting total sleep time. Their accuracy there is often comparable to research-grade actigraphy.
Actigraphy, what's that?
Actigraphy is what researchers often use in studies. It's usually a wrist-worn device that measures movement to estimate sleep and wake periods. It's not perfect, but it gives a reliable baseline outside of a sleep lab.
Okay, so trackers are good for how long we sleep. But what about the quality? The sleep stages?
That's the crucial caveat. While they're okay for total duration, current consumer devices generally have low accuracy and high error rates when it comes to detecting specific sleep stages, like light sleep, deep sleep, and REM sleep.
Really low accuracy.
Yeah, significantly lower than the gold standard, which is polysomnography, or PSG. That's the overnight sleep study in a lab where they measure brain waves, heart rate, breathing, eye movements, muscle tone.
Right, the one with all the wires.
Exactly. Trackers try to infer stages mostly from heart rate and movement, which is much less precise. They're also not great at detecting wake after sleep onset, those brief awakenings during the night. They often overestimate short ones and underestimate longer ones.
So the graph showing my deep sleep might not be very accurate.
It's likely an estimate with a potentially large margin of error. The algorithms are proprietary, black boxes really, making it hard for independent researchers to fully validate them. And factors like skin tone can even affect the accuracy of some optical sensors.
Okay, that's really important to understand.
It is. So the key takeaway is, these devices can be useful for tracking general trends in your sleep duration, maybe motivating you to prioritize sleep, increasing awareness, but they are not yet a reliable substitute for clinical diagnosis of sleep disorders or for getting precise information about your sleep architecture, especially those deep and REM stages.
Good context. So bringing this all together for you, our listener, we've covered a lot of ground today.
We certainly have.
We've seen that sleep isn't just downtime. It's really the fundamental pillar holding up your physical health, your mental sharpness, your emotional balance.
Absolutely.
And we've talked about practical ways to strengthen that pillar. Optimizing your bedroom environment, integrating healthy lifestyle habits like exercise and nutrition, managing stress, using things like the 4As, and mindfulness.
And understanding the role and limitations of modern tools like sleep trackers. It's about building that robust foundation for your overall well-being, piece by piece.
Exactly. It's about creating a holistic approach, realizing that even small adjustments, lowering the thermostat, putting your phone away earlier, taking a mindful walk, they all contribute. They allow your body and mind to perform that ultimate reset.
That nightly software update we talked about at the start.
Right. So consider this. If sleep truly is your ultimate reset button, how are you going to use it more intentionally starting tonight? What's one small adjustment you can make right now to dim the lights on your day, and in doing that, brighten your tomorrow? Make that shift, even a small one, and just notice the difference it makes.